It's Bhayshul Tuten for the Jacksonville Jaguars, currently going off the board, 158 overall, RB52. So kind of in the same range. And the reason I think you maybe want to jump to it so quickly, Jake, is that like we've seen the running backs who have posted the fastest 40 times since really 2018, going back to Nyheim Hines, who had a real role his rookie season, was kind of a darling off the waiver wire early, produced for fantasy. But also just since 2020, listen to these names. 2024, Isaac Guerendo, fastest 40 time, pretty good rookie season when he got the opportunity. Devon Achane, RB1 during his rookie season in 2023 on a points per game basis. Isaiah Pacheco, guy you wanted down the stretch. Elijah Mitchell, RB2 that season of points per game. And Antonio Gibson, your guy, Steve, 2020. He was an RB1 on the season, RB2 in points per game, RB1 overall. So these guys who pop off at the combine like a Tuten, like a Jaden Blue, I think they're interesting. And to me, with Liam Coen getting an early day 3 explosive running back to use in how he ever likes in his system here, this sounds a lot like the setup for Bucky Irving's rookie season, where he would go on to finish as RB13 overall, averaging over 14 points per game in PPR format. So Tuten, he was a guy for me that solid prospect, Virginia Tech, so much hype last season. A lot of people CFP dark horse, ended up kind of falling off a little bit, but Tuten continued to do what he did. Over 2,000 rushing yards in 2 seasons under Brent Pry. I think that all things said and done, I like Travis Etienne as a prospect, but I think by the end of the season, it could be a 60-40 split in favor of Tuten, and Travis Etienne's kind of playing more of that Rashad White role at the end of the season that was really hard to trust for fantasy. So, Steve, I'm in here on Bhayshul Tuten. I would actually prefer him over a guy like your running back there in Jaden Blue.
I get it, right? Like the measurables, right? Like the 40-yard dash it's sexy. I get it.
Those names? Antonio Gibson on that list, brother.
Listen, I love Antonio Gibson, and I will scream from the rooftops that he should be a starting
Devon
running back in today's NFL. Again, good player, but
Guerendo, Jaco.
That you're losing me on Guerendo. You're kind of losing me on Pacheco too.
He gets hype for him. Okay,
the issue with some of these guys is that they didn't have to beat out someone who really is a starting running back caliber player to get their job.
Fair.
Travis Etienne, I think, had a bad last season. Everyone did under Doug Pederson. It was a mess. And so bringing in Liam Coen, I think, and everything, I know it's coach speak. I know we are very wary of it. But as of right now, it sounds like everything is pointing toward Etienne being their guy. And there's no reason to go away from him just yet because he is a good runner of the football and he's a good pass catcher. There's not a lot that's showing me that. Plus, he would still have to beat out, by the way, Tank Bigsby, who looked pretty good last year too.
I think Tank Bigsby's always been a Jag. I thought that all the way back in Auburn when he was taking touches away from Jarquez Hunter, but that's just me, I guess.
Here's what I have to say about Tuten is that he was the fastest. He was the fastest running back in the draft, and he still fell as far as he did. That's usually not a great
he was an early day 3 pick. I mean, he almost got into day 2. Like it was.
Yeah, but
dude, all those running backs were pretty much day 3 picks, other than Achane. Really, I mean, Isaiah Pacheco 7th rounder. You know what I mean?
Right, but Pacheco became the starter because of like a series of things that went wrong. Like, and that's what has to happen.
Also was a bum, but yeah.
So like.
You're right.
Things to go wrong here.
You're right.
That's what needs to happen.
You're right.
That's why I don't love that.
Yeah, I understand.
Blue has to be competent.
More direct path. I get it.
Needs like 3 people to not be competent, and he needs to be competent in order to get a lot of work.
Jake, how do you feel about? Because like I was kind of getting back in on Travis Etienne a couple of weeks ago, and the more I thought into like this Bucky Irving like narrative with Tuten, I'm scared off of the Jaguars running backs as a whole, except for Tuten. I'm just going to take my shot, kind of like the Cowboys backfield on the latest one that's going with, I think, the most upside. What do you say here?
Yeah, it's going to be the same boat for me as it sits right now. Tuten, everybody talks about the speed. Everybody talks about the explosiveness, the burst, all of that great stuff into it. The guy had 24 bench press reps. Like, this guy is just a strong physical freak. And sometimes those physical freaks that fall are the ones that I want to target the most because they have the most upside. This is an offense that I view as having a lot of upside. I just don't know which running back to target here, right? We saw Tank Bigsby be a Jag forever, and then he went to the Jags and then was still a Jag on the Jags. I still not in on Tank Bigsby. I don't think he looked as great as a lot of people do last year. Etienne looked poor, but guess what? It was also one of the worst run blocking offensive lines in football. He was banged up. That offense, it's a press Taylor offense in the NFL. We should have stopped doing that before we started doing it. I think Tuten's upside is unmatched in terms of running backs that we've talked about here. Like his is by far the highest upside. I'm not comparing him as a runner, to some of the guys that you said. I'm not comparing him to Devon Achane. I'm not comparing him to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Sure.
But he fits that mold in terms of just the pure physical talent that he has. And sometimes the physical talent, it's something you can't teach. Like you can teach a guy to play running back. You can't really teach a guy to run a 4.3 40 and bust out 24 bench reps. You just can't do it. Like this guy's a freak.
The way I look at it is if you want to draft for safety and for some guaranteed touches, especially early in the season, you're drafting Travis Etienne right around somewhere between pick 90 and pick 100. But if you're chasing league winning stuff at pick 140 plus, you're drafting Tuten. That's what I see. And if you just want to waste a pick, you're drafting Tank Bigsby. Steve, how would you rank those guys in order of guys you want to draft? It sounds like you're more Etienne, Bigsby, Tuten. Is that how you are?
No, I'm probably more Bigsby. Etienne, Tuten, Bigsby.
Okay.
Is the upside. I don't think Bigsby's a good pass catcher. I also am an Etienne owner in Scott Fishbowl, so gotta root for my guy here.
Jake, real quick, Jaden Blue or Tuten? Who are you taking?
Tuten.
Okay. So that's kind of just a gauge. I think we're all very, very high on these guys.